Couple of years down the road, you inhale a big whiff of WD-40, that spray lubricant kind of thing.
Hmm?
It's a chemical smell. And even though you've used this, several times before, you've just never been able to get used to it. Even after all these years of being a handyman, the smell of WD-40 still almost sends you into a full-on sneeze.
I'm a handyman.
Yeah, you've been a handyman for several years.
Wow.
And honestly, you're doing pretty well at it. You know, the work is easy enough. You take the jobs you want, you work your own schedule.
Okay.
You can honestly kind of make as much money as you want to make. It's like you don't overdo it. You're not focused, you're not like trying to grow this into like a business where you hire another handyman. You're like, no, I just want to make enough money to like support myself.
Okay.
And you do that. You're honest, you work hard, you charge fair rates, you're timely, you're professional, you're dependable. You do a great job. Your 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 little company is called Pat's Hand Jobs. And it's
Oh,
all it's all jobs you do with your hands.
obviously.
And but you stay really busy, right? You stay super busy. Your phone stays really busy. You get a lot of calls
About the name?
at late hours of the night. You
What?
you answer the phone like in a dead of sleep. You go, Pat's Hand Jobs, and you hear just a voice on the other line going, "Yeah, what kind of job you gonna do with your hands, Pat?"
Uh,
It's like, and you're like, "What?" You're like, "I'll do anything, let any handiwork around the home." And eventually it just escalates into like guys asking you to come jack them off, and you know,
gross.
I
For a
mean, you never
second, I
do it.
thought, yeah. For a second, I
You
thought
know,
I was like a late night handyman. That's kind of cool.
you have done late night handiwork. Not every call is like a hand job emergency.
I hope not.
One time, this lady called you in the middle of the night, and you woke up, and she's like, "Hello, I'm so sorry to call you this late at night." She goes, "But I have a pet pig that has broken through my screen door. And I need this repaired tonight so I can keep my pig inside. I want to make sure that he stays safe." And
Okay.
you were like didn't really want to do it, but you're like replacing a screen door is gonna cost you, you're like $600. And she's like, "What?" You're like, "I'm in the middle of sleeping. I really don't want to do this, but I'll come do it if you pay me $600." And she was like, "Fine." And so you're like, "All right." Because you have a price. When some people say, "I don't get out of bed for less than X amount of dollars," you know what that number is.
Yeah. It's $600.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. It was in this case. It could have been lower.
Oh, okay. It
You
changes.
know? Yeah, yeah. But generally speaking, yeah, right around $600. So either way, you've been doing handiwork for several years. And again, you're good at it. You do a good enough job of marketing yourself that you can stay as busy as you want to stay. And right now you're kind of like taking it easy. You got your books pretty clear. You got a little lawn care work lined up. Just one of an oddball thing you do. You're gonna rent a tree stump grinder, and you're gonna remove a stump from somebody's yard. A guy who you've helped him with other projects in the past, and he was asking you, he goes, "Could you do this?" And you're like, yeah, I could fucking do it. You just pay me. So you're living your life, right?
How did I like get into handiwork?
You bought your car, the Ford Fiesta, eventually moves on. to the great, Rainbow Bridge in the sky, right?
Bummer.
And yeah, so eventually you have to get a new car, and you get one at this auto dealer called Frank's Hot Autos.
Okay.
And it's just a normal car dealership, but all the sales people are just like hot babes, in swimsuits.
Really?
Yeah, they charge so much money for cars,
Then what?
right? People are
But that's the
buying.
atmosphere that I wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So honestly, you're like, I'm just gonna go take a look. And they talked you into a
Oh, motherfuckers.
they talked you and walked you and showed you their assets.
What?
And you signed off on a 2016 uh Toyota 4Runner. It's like a nice
Oh,
car, you know?
I'm done with the Ford company.
Yeah, well, you were sold this car. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Someone actively sold this car to you. This wasn't you saying I'm done with Ford. This was you going in this moment, I'm buying this fucking car. Everything
Giving
else
in.
giving in. So these hot autos, gals, they sell you on this car. And as you go to leave, you open up the trunk and you take like that little panel out, like where you go to get a spare tire kind of in the trunk or in like the third row, right? You take that panel out where you expect to see the spare, and there's like a bunch of other tools on top of it, like professional looking tools.
Okay.
And you're like, huh, that's weird. And some lady was walking out of the dealership and she saw that and she goes, "Hey, you there, young man. I see your tools." She goes, "Would you mind helping me with something at the house?"
I see your
And
tools.
she goes, I have a shelf that I need that I bought online and I need it built. I'll pay you $50. Should take you just 10, 15 minutes of your time." She goes, "My old fragile hands can't handle it." And you're like, okay, you're like $50. Like you're like, I've put together IKEA furniture before. It's not hard if you have everything and you're not a fucking idiot. You follow the
Yeah.
steps. Just take your time. So you go over there to this lady's house. She shows you the shelf. It's literally going to take you 10 minutes to do.
Okay,
As you're
tight.
yeah, it's like super easy. As you get it set up, she's like, "Can I get you something to drink?"
I'm okay. Thank you.
She goes, "Okay." She sort of like rustles around in the kitchen. She goes, "Would you like a sandwich?"
No, thank you, ma'am.
She says, "I just bought some smoked turkey at the store
Thank you, but
and
I'm okay.
and plenty of Swiss cheese." And she like holds up a piece of Swiss cheese and she looks at you through the eye hole.
I just
And
go,
she
no,
goes,
I'm just gonna focus on
and
my work.
but you see that Swiss cheese and you fucking love that Swiss cheese. It's just the
What?
Lanalax Club Swiss cheese brand.
Whoa.
And for a moment, you think about having a sandwich and just biting into that fucking cheese that yields against your teeth. You think you're like, no, I just have to finish this, get my $50 and get the fuck out of here. You can't
Yeah.
tell this lady about how much you love this cheese.
Don't know the time.
So you're like, oh no, thank you. I really appreciate it. You go, I should be done with this in just a moment. She kind of tells you, uh, she goes, are you seeing it? Are you single? Are you married? And you're single at the time, and she goes, a handyman like you would be lucky to have a loving wife, and she'd be lucky to have you in return. She says,
Thank
I
you.
have a, she goes, I have a granddaughter about your age.
Oh yeah.
She goes, I'd be happy to introduce you. You finish up the rack. You, it's like a new, like bookshelf thing that she's using it for. You sort of transfer everything from the old piece into the new one. You end up sitting and you stay there for a minute. You're like, I'll even take the old one out to the curb, throw it out in the trash if you're getting rid of it. So the two of you have like this very pleasant conversation. You're in and out of there in like 15 minutes, $50 in your pocket. A couple days go by. You get a phone call from that lady, and she says, my friend Francine came over today and I showed her what you built for me. And she says she needs something built as well. She goes, can I pass your number along? You did such a great job.
Thank you.
And it kind
Yeah.
of and she does, and it kind of snowballs from there, right? You make like $150 at Francine's place because it's a little bit bigger, it takes a little bit more time, and frankly, she insisted on it. So you slowly sort of develop a network of older, usually single, lonely women who need help assembling furniture that they buy off of the internet, right? That's just like sort of your main clientele. But it's all it's it but again, you do a great job, you're very personable, you're reasonable with your rates, again, punctual, you're very kind, you never judge. They feel great around you. So sometimes it's like you'll get a phone call and somebody's like, "Hey, I just went to the store and I need a jar opened." And you're like, "Okay, that's $5." So
$5.
sometimes if you're nearby, you know,
If I have to
if you're
travel, how much is it?
I mean, it depends on how far.
Oh wow.
You live down south, you're not going to go up to 183 for $5.
No.
15 if you're a regular, 20 if you're not.
Regular.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people who come to rely on you for manual labor, handyman type task work, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So you're doing stuff for people, hefting and lifting and moving and opening, installing, uninstalling, right? Replacing. You're just making these alterations in these people's lives. You're their handyman. And eventually, over time, you build up a big enough network where you can really support yourself without any other work. You get a referral one day. uh, Somebody refers a friend. You get a phone call. You answer. You go, Pat's Hand Jobs. This is Pat. And the woman on the other line goes, oh, hi. I was referred by Gladys Schmidt. And you're like, oh, I love Gladys. How's she doing? And the lady on the line goes, oh, she's not well. You should
Oh no.
you should give her a call if you think well of her. And you're like, oh
Really?
man, you make a note, you write it like a sticky note, you put it on your computer. You're like, I'm definitely gonna have to call Gladys.
Yeah.
You've seen her like 2, 3 times a year for the last like 4 years. And she's always very pleasant. Um, she always pays you too much, for two, and you're always like, if you need anything, like just call. I'm happy to help you. Like we're friends. You think she's a genuinely nice person. You hadn't seen her in a while. So you make a note and you go, thank you for the information. She goes, I'll have to reach out once we're done. And you're like, how can I help you? And this lady, she goes, um, I had a cabinet door sort of come loose in my home. And she goes, and now it's making a squeaking noise and it's sort of sitting off center and the hinge is at an odd angle and it's up on a shelf. And I don't really feel comfortable getting on a ladder or,
Sure,
standing
yeah.
on a chair or anything. She goes, I'd really love to have somebody come over and take a look. And you're like, yeah, of course. This is like a thing I'm happy to help with. You get her address. It's pretty close by. You're like, standard call out there is going to be $25. And then depending upon what we do, and he goes, honestly, if I'm just tightening a screw, I'm not going to charge you anything. It would only be if we had to like repair something or parts are involved. And he's like, but I could be there in the next 15, 20 minutes. And she's like, great, that's perfect. Yeah, come on by. So you go, it's out in kind of like West Austin area. You drive up, it's a nice place, you know, big on a hill. You buzz the gate. You go, hey, this is Pat from Pat's Hand Jobs. And she's like, oh, Pat. She goes, come on in. You're buzzed in. You drive up to the house. You knock on the door. You got your little toolbox with you. You have a shirt that says Pat's Hand Jobs on it. And P is capitalized and the H is capitalized, but the J is not. The guy who printed it made a mistake when he was typing it in. And he used it as one words or kind of like auto corrected,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's been writing a lot of fanfic on work time. So, on that computer, so it automatically recognized the word hand job because he definitely used it in other, pieces of literature that he's been writing while working. And when it's slow,
What's the
um,
fanfic of?
it is of uh it's the Clump family from the Eddie Murphy movies.
From the Nutty Professor?
Yeah.
And it's like erotica or it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you're into
oh
that kind of
man.
thing, yeah. It's like incestuous, it's
Okay. All right. Great.
filthy. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been either way. So it auto corrected to hand job as he writes it as one word. But the note you said it's the note you gave him said make sure it's separated like it's three lines. So he separated it, but he didn't capitalize it. So some people look at it like it is like one word. So you walk inside the house
Pat's hand jobs.
and you wanted the font to look like bricks, like a brick pattern, but instead it just
Hmm?
kind of looks like it's got veins all over it.
Oh
So
God.
um
That
so you go
sucks.
inside, right? You go inside. You're like, oh yeah, let me take a look. Let's go into the kitchen. So she walks you into the kitchen. You look up and you see that one of the cabinets is like slightly ajar. It is a little off center. You have like a kind of like shine your flashlight up at it. Pow, pow, you hit it up perfectly, right? On the first try. Didn't have to move it at all. You see that you're like, yeah, there is a loose hinge up there. He goes, let's take a look at it. So you get up, you have like a little step stool, you climb up there. You're talking to the lady. She uh she goes, it is so nice to have somebody in the house that can fix things. She says, ever since my husband passed, I feel like I've been putting off getting things done around the house because it was just things that he would always kind of do. And she goes, I couldn't live with that fucking cabinet another day. And she's kind of like tearing up.
Oh man. This is
You tighten
heavy.
the you tighten the hinge and it fixes the problem. Right? It closes shut. There's no creak. You look up and she kind of applauds through tears. You climb down off the ladder and you're like, is there anything else that like I can help you with while I'm here?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I've managed to do most things, pretty well. She goes, actually, this is a little weird. She's like, come with me. She walks you through the house, walks you upstairs into what is like a beautiful master bedroom with like a huge California king, giant TV on the wall. She opens up a door inside the room, and it's just like this palatial closet, right? It's huge. It's like as big as your current apartment. It's gigantic.
Oh
And it
wow.
is it is filled with clothes, like designer clothes, high-end stuff, bags, shoes, accessories. There's like a jewelry thing in there. There's a vanity. Like there's even a bathroom inside this closet. It's
There's a
gigantic.
bathroom.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre.
And one, but there's like a section of the closet that has like her husband's clothes on it.
Oh yeah.
She, she kind of gets down on her hands and knees, and in the corner of the closet, she peels back a layer of carpet. And there's a safe underneath it. She says, she kind of sits there. She goes, "My husband died 6 months ago, and he left me whatever's inside of this safe. But he said I have to wait 10 years to get in there."
What?
She goes, "Yeah, that was," she goes, "Yeah, that's what he said. He said, don't open it for 10 years." And she kind of looks around. She goes, "I don't know if you can tell, but my husband was a pretty well-to-do guy. So whatever's in there has got to be worth something good." She goes, "Could you help me get in there?"
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever tried to break into a safe before.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't exactly be true in this case because you, my friend, have had a subscription for 2 years to Safecracker Monthly.
Wait.
Yeah,
Really? So am I
yeah.
good at like break picking locks and stuff like that?
Um, not necessarily like lock picks. You have learned some interesting breaking and entering techniques. You know, like how to get into a hotel with like a credit card, like that kind of thing.
Whoa.
Uh, you've learned it. You've got a few tricks up your sleeve, but you Safecracker Monthly like is really all about safe cracking.
Okay, so that's my specialty.
Yeah, you have a set of like what do they call them? The ear things.
The ear things?
What is that? The stethoscope.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry.
You have a stethoscope that you bought through Safecracker Monthly. It's called the Bad Boy, and the the ad for it said, "This ain't your mama's stethoscope."
Oh.
You know, they go, this has been fine tuned for Safecracker Monthly readers exclusively. The
Wow.
dial, like the drum of it is just like a fucking. It's like the face of a lock. You know, and so you have like your stethoscope. You have a set of like thin gloves that you like to wear. So you're like, you know what? I could. Oh, well, first off, would you help her with that? She goes, "I'll pay you out some of whatever's inside."
Yeah. I slip on those gloves. I'm ready to go.
Hmm. You slip on the gloves. You put the bad boy on. Your
Boy.
earpieces are perfectly snug in your little canals. It fills your fucking canals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You rotate the dial on the safe. Your eyes are closed. Your eyebrows are like raised. Like you're really like straining, like you're trying to tune into something,
Yeah, okay.
and you hear a subtle click, and you stop. You spin the other direction. Another subtle click. Something tumbles inside. You stop. You go one more time around, almost all the way, and you hear the last lock tumble and a click. You swivel open the door, and inside of it is an envelope. And it says, "To my love." You pick it out, you give it to her. She opens it. It says, "To my love." It says, "Thank you for your patience. I know 30 years is a long time, but it'll all make sense in the end. It says, "Remember the first place that you ever tasted me?"
Oh,
He says, "Go to that spot, look due north, and dig at the bottom of the oak tree." She kind of folds the note. She looks at you and she goes, "I remember where I first tasted him."
oh my God.
She goes, "Pat, come with me. There's a shovel in the garage."
Okay. Let's fucking go.
You go out to the northernmost corner of her lot. It backs up to the woods. There's a creek in the background. You hear the croaks of bullfrogs. You hear "A Night Alive" with Vibrance. The moon filters in through the leaves and casts a beautiful shadow on the two of you. She looks up at you and she says, "It was a night a lot like this. The full moon lit the two of us up, and I tasted him right here on the spot."
Okay. Why do you keep putting it that way?
She leans into you, the night illuminating your faces. She about presses her lips to yours, and then you hear a giant bullfrog croak. It's like the loudest fucking bullfrog. She goes, "Holy shit." Kind of composes herself. She goes, "Let's just move on." She turns in the direction. She points at the
Okay.
oak. She
Yeah.
finds the oak. There's like clearly a patch that looks different than the rest of it, even though it's been, who knows how long ago it was buried there. It would be a pretty obvious place to start. So you start digging. You effortlessly pierce the ground with the point of the shovel. It yields to the pressure that you apply to the blade with your foot. You dig up chunks of earth until you hit
Chunks.
chunks, until you hit a hard wooden box. You clear the dirt away. Inside the box is an envelope. The front of it says, "To my love." You hand it to her. She opens it. It says, "To my love. I knew you wouldn't forget. You always commented on my flavor." He spells it Flavour.
Oh, okay. Like he's
You
British.
always commented on my flavor.
What a
You know,
prick.
you loved the way I danced across your tongue.
Oh my God.
He says, "Do you remember the hay bales on which we first made love?"
Oh my God. I hate couples like this.
He says, "Go to the barn. Go to that place
What?
and find your next clue." So you go to the you go to the barn, right?
At this point, yeah, you have to. I mean, I'm in it for the long haul. I
She
need to know.
The two of you walk in. She kind of points. She goes, "It was up there. There's a ladder that goes up to that part of the loft." She goes up the ladder. You go up behind her and get a prime look at a prime juicy peach.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How old is this lady?
She is 48.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like thought it was like an old woman for some reason.
No, no, she's not an old woman. She's just a young widow.
Okay. Okay.
She ascends the ladder. You go up behind her into the loft. Moonlight pours in through an open window. And you go, "Well, where did it happen?" She kind of like looks around. She goes, "It was right here." She goes, "Lay down."
What?
There's a spot right on the floor. You lay down on your back, and she straddles you. And she
What?
says, "It was just like this." She reaches up. to like this bar, like a wooden bar
Oh, yeah, okay.
that's kind of like at the edge of the loft, and you feel her entire body on yours. You would just sort of instinctively grab her waist, and there's just like a split second where the two of you connect,
Oh my God.
and there's like an unmistakable twitch on both of your genitals.
Why are we reenacting this?
She, breathless, flustered, dismounts, kind of stands up, and like the piece of wood that she's holding onto, there's like a little box carved out of it. There's a letter inside the frame itself. It says, "To my love." She opens it and says, "I knew you would never forget how we consummated that first night in the barn. And as we writhed together, I
Ugh.
knew that you were the one for me."
These guys are so gross.
He says, "Go to Carlton's Jewelers down on 3rd Street. Ask for Dominic." And then it says, "P.S. I always loved you. I meant it every time I said it. Good time, bad time, it didn't matter. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't thank my lucky stars
Wow.
that you'd fallen in love with me too." He says, "I hope the rest of your days are happy, healthy, and filled with joy." So she takes the letter. She's tearing up. She's like in a full on cry.
Yeah,
You're even like a little moved by it. She goes, "Pat, could you drive me to Carlton's Jewelers?"
let's go.
You get in the car. It's a little late at night. It's like 10 o'clock. You're like, "I don't think this guy's going to be open." She's like, "I have to check." You pull up to a nondescript little jewelry shack in like a strip mall. 10 o'clock at night. You both walk up to the door. It's open. You walk in behind her. A guy sitting there. He's the only one inside. Kind of stands up. He goes, "Good evening, folks. What can I do for you?" She's like, "I'm here to see Dominic." He goes, "You're looking at him." He goes, What can I help you out with?" She hands over the letter. It kind of explains it. He kind of nods his head. He's like, "Yeah, yeah." He goes, "I know all about this."
Holy shit.
He goes,
What a
"Give me two
day.
minutes." He walks into the back of the store. He comes out holding a nondescript gray metal box. He opens it. You can't really see what's inside, but he's like doing stuff with his hands. He clearly like pulls out a piece of paper and he reads it. He goes, "You were supposed to wait 30 years for this?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't know either." He goes, "Well, he gave us strict instructions." And he pulls a gun from the box and shoots each of you right in the middle of the
Oh
head.
no.
He shoots you guys right in
Dominic.
the forehead, and then he takes like $2 million worth of jewels, and he just puts them in a bag, and he puts the bag in his pocket.
No.
He put, he puts the bag in his pocket, and then he whistles loudly, and he has two like champion bull like pit bulls come out, and they just eat bodies, clothes, and all
Oh.
right there, and they lick the blood off the floor, and there's no fucking evidence that remains. And you see that there's a note that gets balled up and thrown in the trash, and it says, "If she comes before 30 years, end her and keep the jewels. She's not worthy."
Why? Why put her through this like treasure hunt? Oh man, this guy sucks. This
Yeah, you
guy
guys
is a
died.
real prick.
You guys died right there at Carlton's Jewelers, right next to the strip clubs. Carlton's Jewelers has a strip club on the left of it, on the right of it, and across the street from it. There are
Okay.
it is like It is like strip club central. And there's been like a fourth strip club that's tried to like buy him out several times. And he's like, I'm not doing it. He goes,
Oh,
I'll be
whoa.
damned if my grandfather's jewelry store is going to be a titty bar. I'm not having it. And they've offered him a
Wow.
lot of money, but he
Really?
kind of he stands strong. He still visits
Oh.
all three of them regularly, but he doesn't. He's not gonna like. He doesn't
Oh,
have anything
whatever.
against. He's just not gonna see his family business close because of it.
Good for him, I guess. Damn.
Yeah, but you died right there,
Yeah, we're dead. We're both
right there.
dead.
Yeah,
Fuck. I don't even know this woman. We didn't get
yeah.
anything out of it.
No, you had
No
a brief
jewels, no
moment.
nothing.
You spent the rest of that night hoping you were gonna go home and consummate. It definitely felt like that was the track it was headed on, and so you
Yeah,
did
that
spend your
was
last like
odd.
couple of hours like sexually charged. So that's kind of
Oh.
cool. But I mean, other than that, there was no relief. You know,
There never is.
no, you spent your last couple hours just knee deep in sexual tension, and then you got to